everybody. Good news. My fever has been gone for at least 4 hours. I still have, the residual body aches. My back is hurting. It's mostly still kidney stuff. I'm sure tomorrow's gonna suck ass, but I just gotta get through it and then I'll have 2 more days to rest. But bottom line, my car is done. It is unfixable. So it's been a rough ass day. I spent a lot of time bowling and I'm not going to do it again, but it came too early. I was hoping for, to keep this car until the holidays where my credit would have been perfect for me to get a loan. I don't have enough established for anybody to just be like, here's a lease, here's a loan. They want 1/3 down. I do not have bad credit. I just don't have enough to show that I'm reliable. So I went to a couple places online, and then my mom took me to 2 places, and I don't have a cosigner. My parents are both tapped out. They're in retirement, so their salary isn't the same. They have their own shit. I'm fucking 40 years old. I'm surprised I even need a cosigner. But again, I fucked myself by paying stuff off too early. And, they want you to wait till the bill's due and then pay it. And that builds your credit. I was paying things off mad early and most of my life in cash. Just trying to get rid of stuff. Trying to get it paid off. And apparently that's the wrong thing to do and it screwed me. So I have a new reality of, oh fuck, how am I going to get to work? And, between my mom and my sister, and I'm going to have to Uber a couple times, which is expensive, but not having to Uber every day will be affordable. But I'm only going to do this until there's a job on my street that I'm applying to. I'm not going to say anything else. There's millions of fucking jobs on my street. I got haterators and bad juju, and it stems from my work, and it stems from people who watch my channel, and I'm not going to let them fucking win. So I'm going to ride this no car thing out. I'm going to put applications in. There's lots of places that I could cheaply Uber to around here. But my sister's going to, hopefully, she has a bike, she said, that just sits there. And she might let me use it. If I get a bike, I can go out a little bit further. But the job that I'm trying to get is something that I can get to by myself. I have a really good fucking job, and I hate leaving it. I work so hard to get this job, but the fact is it's not on public transportation. It's $40 one way for an Uber, probably about $30, $10 cheaper for a cab. And I'm not going to make my mom and sister pick me up every day and take me home. It's okay to do that for a few weeks until I find a different job, but I'm not going to make other people have to go out of their way. I appreciate that they would do that, but I am independent and I need stability in my life and figuring out how I'm going to get to work this day and who's going to pick me up. That's so fucking stressful, and it just sucks that I get to a really good place, like making really good money, and this car thing like literally just happened out of nowhere. Like driving home, normal day, and all of a sudden my car started overheating. And what happened is apparently somehow in the mix of everything, my coolant and my oil mixed and blew every single one of my hose. It would take more to fix it than the car is worth. So, it wasn't going to last forever. I knew that. It just happened a little bit before the time I needed it to. And I 100%, people roll their eyes, 100% know that this is from dark magic. And I don't need to worry about it. A small victory in the grand scheme of their world is a win for me. What is removed from my life is only going to benefit me. This job that I'm about to get might be the best job I ever had. I might actually have insurance, and the fact that I don't even need a car, I can walk to my job. How much money am I fucking saving? I did this for years. For 2 years, I walked to work. It fucking sucks. It really sucks in the winter here, and it's really gonna suck here because I'm in the wind belt and I'm on a very busy, scary road, and it's going to be bitter cold, and I'm not going to like it, but I can do it. I can get myself to my job every day. I'll fucking Uber if I have to. If I Uber up the street from my house to my job, I can't be more than $10 or $11. It's the same road. So I'll fucking Uber every day if I don't feel like walking. Fine by me. Take me 3 blocks. I'm that lazy bitch on those blistery cold days. It's just a long stretch, so I'll be fine as long as I had trouble when I used to walk to work with those bitter high wind gusts that would like steal my breath. It was so cold I couldn't get a fucking breath. I hate that feeling. I suffocated before to death, so anytime my breathing gets fucked up, me no likey. But if I ride my bike to this job, I can get to my job in 10-15 minutes at most on a bike. It's probably, well, no, it's probably like a 10-15 minute walk, 5-10 minute bike ride, depending on how fast I want to go. It's not that. To me, visually, it feels like a long gap, but it really isn't. It's definitely doable. It's probably the same amount of distance, maybe a tiny bit more than what I used to walk, but I got mad skinny walking to work every day. I'll get my walks in to and from work, but I was thinking I'll probably, depending on what time they hire for, if it's later in the night, like if it's a night shift and I go in at like 6 or 10 or whatever, if it's an overnight shift, if it's cool, I'll walk. But in the winter, that's bitter cold temperatures. So I don't know. I might be Ubering most of the winter, but like I said, that close, it can't be more than $10. Like literally driving me up the road. But I'm sure they do that for elderly people, pregnant people. Like they don't really give a fuck where they're driving you to. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm trying to look at the optimism of it, because this is a really hard time for me. I'm turning 40 this month. It's August 1st, okay? So I'm turning 40. I do not have children. I'm not married. I am nowhere near like completing a book or doing anything that I had aspired to, and I'm not saying this because I'm depressed. I'm really trying not to be depressed, but I'm being open and honest about my journey. This is when the suicide and the depression will sink in for me if I'm not careful. Because to me it feels like I'm going backwards. I fought so hard to get a car. I spent mad money just trying to keep this car. The cars are so fucking much money. They make it so impossible for people to get a car. So basically they want 1/3 from me. They want $5,000 from me for a car that's $15,000. Who the fuck has $5,000 just laying around? Be like, here you go. There's $5,000. I'm like, I'll give you $1,500. They're like, we can't help you without a cosigner. I'm 40. Who the fuck's gonna cosign for me? You know? What the fuck? If I had a cosigner, I could have walked out the lot with a car. Nobody can do it. Everybody's got their own debt and their own shit. They could try to run my parents' names or my siblings' names. They got school loans and car loans of their own. Like, the fact that even cosigners exist is fucking bullshit. 40 years old. Let me earn my own credit. Like, if I had bad credit, if I went bankrupt, I could see why no one would give me a chance. But I paid everything off. Doesn't that mean anything? Apparently not. So I'm job hunting this weekend, and I'm trying to keep my head out of my ass and stay positive. One door closes, another opens. I just don't want to go backwards. I'm going to be making less money. Hopefully I get insurance out of the shtick. At least I won't have to depend on a vehicle. I can just depend on my own 2 legs. And at the end of the day, the way this world is going, maybe that's the best thing for me. I won't have a car payment. I won't have an insurance payment. I won't have to worry about, oh my God, how am I going to get to work if something happens to my car? It is a giant stress reliever, but it adds more stress. Like, oh fuck it, what's the weather like? How am I going to get to work and be dry on my shift? You know, different stuff. I'll get through it. I always do.